64-bit legends. Welcome.
Legend of the game, like GoldenEye, I'm more than right.
Yeah.
The perfect dark is dreams that seem to come to life. 64-bit, the shit, it's as real as it gets. We can talk sports, games, and music, take your pick. Point with the news, pull up and crack a brew. Smoke one with the crew, tune in and take a view.
Watch.
We here to raise the bar from the lowest mark. Sit your ass down and listen, it's time for the show to start.
Aww, 64-bit Legends fans, don't you dare be sour. Clap for the world's greatest podcast and feel the power. I am Bobby Caboose. As always, looking for that hot tag is Melvin Troy.
Oh, we're hot tagging it in. Hot tagging it.
Hot tag, and we haven't been on for a while, man. We lost the infamous Playboy episode, but we found it. So
Oh, yes, we did.
we found the Playboy episode.
I'm so pumped that we were able to get a hold of that because I was really crushed by it. So
This is officially, I believe, episode number 83 because
Yeah.
82 is going to be posted by the time you hear this one. It's the Playboy episode, 1987. But today, that's the past. Today is the future or the present. We have a special guest in our house.
yes, we do.
We have a lovely young lady.
Yeah, I've had a lovely lunch earlier too. I thought that's what you were going to say.
Me too. I'm still kind of hungry though. Miss Kelsey, welcome to the 64-bit Legends.
Yes.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
We heard you needed a night out.
I did. I definitely did.
Miss Kelsey just went through a breakup.
Oh, I'm very familiar with how that can go. So yes, I can understand. It's good to get out and to
Chat with friends.
yes,
Yeah, just get out, chat, have a few drinks.
yeah,
Forget the past.
change your surroundings. Absolutely. So I know for, not to put this will be a story for another day, but I think me and Bobby both are currently single, so we know what it's like to have
Singles
to be.
night out.
Yes, and
We can make friendship bracelets and shit.
we can crochet
Yep.
and
Knit.
knit.
I was thinking shots.
Oh,
and-
okay.
Shots, too.
That's good too. At least I was gonna say at least one of us has balls in here.
But no, it's it is an interesting transition once you're getting back out there from being in a relationship and you're kind of like it's a wild world of dating. You never know what you're gonna uncover. I just told you off stream. I told you guys a little story. I went to a party and there was a girl that seemed interesting, and then all of a sudden she got completely obliterated, and I realized this girl is a fucking nut. And you don't know always what you're gonna uncover.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Yes,
You
yeah.
never know what you're gonna get.
And sometimes you can catch it early. Sometimes it kind of you don't see it right away. Sometimes they put you in awkward scenarios. I think we've all been there where we've all had an odd scenario or something come up.
Maybe that's why I don't like chocolate.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Surprise aspect.
Yeah.
I like to know what I'm getting.
Yeah. True that. I mean, there's nothing worse than a black guy with small dick.
I mean, that's.
I mean,
That's
imagine being the one black guy with a small dick. I mean, that would suck.
I know. Well, and that's the thing because there's a big expectation. That's why I'm a big fan of sandbagging it. If someone were to ask me about if it comes up in conversation what are we working with? I'm like nothing. You're working with absolutely nothing. In fact, I have a medical condition. It's so tiny. It looks like an Audi belly button.
It looks like Terrence Howard.
Yes, it looks like Terrence Howard from what was that, Hustle and Flow,
Yes.
in the prison scene or whatever. That's what we're dealing with. And then when they realize it's not that, it's what is this? Isn't so bad.
Or imagine being the Asian with the biggest cock. You would be fucking banging everything.
Oh, I know. You'd be just dominating
Dude.
all over Asia.
All over Asia, dude. If you've ever played Risk, Asia's worth the most.
It is. That's a good continent to dominate it.
It definitely is.
And if you can hold Australia during that whole period, I mean, you can dominate the
you
world.
can dominate the game. One turn, Jake.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, I understand what it's like to kind of and it's sometimes it's interesting, and I don't know if you've already encountered this yet, where sometimes they kind of box you into these weird little like, oh, I wasn't aware you're into that. You know, that I wasn't aware that was a thing. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but there was someone I was seeing, right? Just to briefly summarize it, because I don't want this to dominate it.
Right.
We have a lot of other things to discuss. But there was one time I went and I was seeing somebody, and they were kind of like in an open thing, and I was like, that's fine for you.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're not dating at this point to that level. So she tells me, she's like, hey, you know, my significant other, he's going to be out of town. So, we can go see this concert and whatever. He doesn't care. He's open to it. That's fine. And I'm like, okay, that's whatever. It's I'm not going to get into the details of it. I show up. I go to pick her up. Of course, she's not ready. The concert is starting now. I'm picking her up late, and she's still not ready. So I'm waiting in the living room, and then all of a sudden, this dude walks in, and he's like, "Hey, I'm so and so." I'm like, really? What is? I thought you were out of town. I just came home early, and at first I was like caught off guard because I was like, are you gonna fight me? Do you not know? She said everything's cool, and he's like, no, it's all cool. And then he did, and then it started to set in. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is like you're setting something up here. You're trying, and he did kind of bring it up of like, so we kind of bullshitted a little bit to try to feel him out. And he was like, so what's your opinion on like if I were to like join in? I'm like, absolutely not. We're not going to do that at all.
You're like, no.
No, so that's out of the
Hard
question.
pass.
And but I seen it was like a soft attempt, to try to like get me into some three, and I'm like, that's too much for me.
I mean, you don't want to be Eiffel Towering some chick.
No, it's just outside my comfort zone. If that's for you, so be it. I'm not going to judge you. I would never judge somebody if they're into like some kind of cuckoldry. It's not for me, but I'm just saying.
Dude, speaking of that, man, like I know this dude, man, had a girl. It must be running in Grand Rapids or wild because this dude basically was fucking a married chick, right?
Okay.
And we weren't sure if he knew, but he knew the whole time, and so the husband was getting cucked.
Oh, really?
The whole fucking time. But the crazy thing is it's a Grand Rapids thing. Like,
is that what it is?
It just runs on the streets, man. Like we go over there, like my buddy, he sometimes go to Grand Rapids to work, and like it's like laid out all over the streets, man. Just cuckers being cucked, cuckies, cuckers, and cucking, man. It's sweeping the nation.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the guy that showed up in this scenario I was talking about was from Grand Rapids, but might be. I don't know where he's from, but it could be a thing. I mean,
Grand Rapids is home of the Griffs and home of the Cucks. Home of the Cucks?
Cuffs?
Cucks?
The Cucks.
Home of the
Cucks.
Griffs and home of the Cucks.
Yeah, it's the Cucks. Well, it's cuffing season for the Cucks right now because it's fall.
It's
so
cucking
that's like-
season, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, how many dudes do you know that probably get cucked by Santa Claus every year? Probably a lot.
There's probably a ton. It happens on a regular. You got some dude just breaking through your chimney,
Yeah.
dressed as Tim Allen. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's
Trying
hard
to
for a
feed you
woman.
Rumplemans.
Yeah, it's hard. How does a woman like hold back if she's like, well, Tim Allen's in my living room right now in the middle of the night and Christmas. I'm lonely.
100%.
So
Well, not to like one up you guys, but yeah, I was with a cuck for like 3
Wait,
years.
what?
really,
Wait,
Yeah.
the guy that you just
Yeah.
the guy you just broke up with.
Yeah, since we're talking about cucks, I guess
Really?
I'm just gonna put it all on the table.
What?
I wasn't gonna tell you guys, but now
Jesus.
what?
I mean, not sure you want to know, but I'm still gonna tell you.
Okay, so we got to start at the beginning. Okay, like when you met him, did you know he was a cuck?
I didn't know. Okay, so weird situation. I had a feeling there was something weird.
Okay.
Because when we first started talking, we met at a music festival, Chill on the Hill.
Okay.
Not really a festival, but whatever. And he was still talking to his ex at that time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
So
he
that's-
was getting dick pics from his ex of the guys that she was hooking up with.
You knew this
did
from
you
the
know
jump?
this from the beginning?
Yeah, when I first met him.
Okay,
Really?
So, and you were okay with that?
Well, so he, at one point, like, I didn't know until he came up to me and he's like, hey, like, my ex just sent me this dick pic, and this dick is huge. Do you want to see it? I was like, no. Why would I want to see?
Wait, first date.
Yeah.
We weren't even dating. We were just talking at this point.
That's
Wow.
ballsy.
Yeah.
That is something.
Wow.
Just talking. And I was like, no, why would I want to see who you're ex is fucking. Like, no.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay, whatever. That was a little bit before we started dating. I don't know. I guess that was, in hindsight, a red flag. But
So the ex. So when he shows you this dick pics, he's still with the girl, right? That's his ex. That's who you're referring
his
to.
ex. They weren't together anymore, but
Okay,
they were
okay.
still in communications.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey. I'm still talking to my ex, but here's some dicks that she's taken now.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
And
all right.
he just, they were big, so he wanted to see if I wanted to see.
Okay.
And
That's a bold move though, because it's like, hey, we're still talking, we're not really dating. Were you hooking up with him at this point?
we were hooking up from time to time. Yes.
Okay. So that we were already over that part. 'Cause
Yes.
I was gonna say, if you haven't hooked, if you guys hadn't hooked up,
Yeah.
it's a bold move on his part. Be like, hey, look at this dick, because you could be like, I actually like that better than yours. Like,
Right.
put me in touch with that guy.
Right.
Like, what's going on?
That's where my mind went. Like, dude, if he's showing you like these 10 inches and you don't supply that, like, you know, what do you?
No, I
what are
never
you
saw
comparing yourself
any
to?
of them. I never saw any of them before, and then
Okay, so you said no. You didn't
yeah,
want to see
it was
him.
like, why do
All
I
right.
want to see who your ex is fucking? Like, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Did you know the ex?
No, I never met her.
No, never met her.
I knew he was close, or she was close with his friends and family, but I never met her.
And do you know how long they were dating?
I want to say they were dating for like 10, 11 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you started dating him for what, 3, 4?
We were together for 3 years.
3 years.
Actually, he broke up with me the day before our 3-year anniversary.
Huh. That's a classy move right there.
Yeah, he said that the relationship had ran its course.
So
Wow.
So someone in an old friend group.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you can narrow it down.
Okay.
Their ex-husband served her divorce papers on either her birthday, anniversary, or Valentine's Day. It was one of those 3
fuck.
days. And
That's
he's like,
messed
yeah, I'm not
up.
happy. I'm like, damn, maybe you shouldn't be a bitch.
Oh, that's
But anyway.
messed up.
Anyway.
No, this guy, he was kind of a piece of shit, honestly. Like,
Okay.
I should have noticed it earlier. You know, my friends, they tried to tell me, but, you know, he was a little manipulative, emotionally controlling. And
So it's the beginning of the relationship. You're seeing these dicks.
Yeah.
haven't seen them yet.
And, you haven't seen him yet. He offered up the dicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
I
offered
said
the
no.
dick.
Yes.
Dick. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when he offers up the dicks, do you tell your friends like, hey, like I'm dating or I'm starting to talk to this guy, but he's got these dicks?
I did not, honestly.
Okay.
Just
So you
'cause
just kept it between you two?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Because honestly, it was kind of weird too. Because the same time I met him at Chillin' on the Hill, my best friend at the time, I'm no longer friends with her, but my best friend at the time also tried to get with him only
Oh,
because
wow.
I showed interest. So I was kind of just like, I'm not going to tell you anything about this dude because
Okay.
you kind of just,
Yeah.
you know, crossed a
Chicks
line.
being chicks.
Yeah.
being
that's-
chicks.
There's
being chicks.
nothing better than
Then
there's
chicks being chicks.
Yeah, and there's nothing that like gets a girl more interested in a guy when there's another girl interested in him, no matter what the quality
100%,
is.
100%.
Maybe
They
that's
just-
what got me because, like I said, in hindsight, probably
Yeah.
red flags. But anyway, so
It's like two dogs fighting over a bone. It's just
so fast forward, I do start dating him. We
Okay.
eventually started dating.
yeah.
So what made it official for you? Like, what was the move since he presented these dicks to you? You were like, nah, I don't want to see him. So how do you go from I can show you these dicks to will you date me? Like, how does it
Well, it was funny because so he showed me, or he offered to show me the dick pics. I
Yeah.
said no. That was in the summer. And then we started hanging out with his friends, and we went to a concert with them in September or October. And
Blink 182?
yes.
Dude, how did I pull that out?
Were you there too?
I don't know, but I just figured if a dude is gonna show a chick a bunch of dick pics, they're probably seeing Blink 182.
It was Blink.
I like Blink 181 too, but I wouldn't show
Yeah.
I'm just what other concert? Sheryl Crow? Like, you're not gonna show a Sheryl Crow concert like a bunch of dick pics. Blink 182, they ran naked through the fucking
yeah.
beach. Let's go.
Well, so at that point, I'm thinking I've already met your friends. I've met most of his
Yeah.
family at that point.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of pushing okay, are we dating? And then he's like, oh yeah, this is my friend. And I'm like, okay. So
Okay.
am I just here to fuck or what?
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you guys were hooking up.
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay.
So then after that, we kind of, it didn't really turn into oh, will you be my girlfriend? It was more just this is what's happening now.
Yeah.
We're together because it's.
I mean, I think we talked about I made a huge mistake about just calling a chick, introducing her to my friend's family by just being like, hey, this is my girl. And then all of a sudden she thought we were together. Whatever.
Yeah, they can get the wrong impression. Sometimes.
It depends on the verbiage.
you got to be very
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
So we started dating, and I mean, there wasn't like an official like, will you be my girlfriend or will you be my boyfriend moment. But yeah, we just kind of started dating and eventually later chose a date, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So you already mentioned the dick pic. So this has got to be a kind of it's already starting off as like kind of a weird relationship, right?
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. I already kind of had like this thought in the back of my head, like, okay, he's definitely got some weird shit going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm definitely gonna go for it because like he seems like at the time he seemed like a great guy.
Yeah. Most of us do. at the
Family
beginning.
oriented. I'm very big on family because I didn't come from a very supportive, like my family's broken and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the fact that him and his family were so close and like so involved, like that was very important to
Right.
me. He had big plans for his future.
What nationality is he? Italian? Something like that?
Something like Italian or
because
Oh,
family
okay.
oriented.
So
Like,
very, very big family
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Marinati. His name is Spike Marinati.
Okay, got it.
That sounds Italian.
Yeah, it sounds
Fucking Spike. Wait, is he?
sounds like a Mario villain. That's
Yeah,
what it
I was gonna say, is he either an '80s villain or like a childhood, childhood movie villain? Spike.
Yeah, apparently his parents just went for a dog name when they
I
named him.
guess.
Because that's what I thought of, and I was like, whatever. Like
Did he wear a dog collar at any point?
No.
Okay.
No, not that. He wears some other cages and chains and stuff, but not
All right.
not any dog
Okay.
collars.
So wait a minute. All right. So you guys get into this relationship. It seems a little bit like it's, it's already kind of weird, but you're kind of driven by the fact that he seems pretty sought after. That's at least what I'm picking up.
He was very easy to talk to too.
Is-
Like he's
okay.
definitely the type that like anyone, and I noticed it even with like strangers. Like
Yeah.
he's very sociable, and he'll just get you talking and make you feel comfortable. Like I could tell you my whole life story. I don't know.
Right.
He's like a witcher or
He's
something.
he's got some kind of aura about him.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
That attracts people.
Yes.
Okay.
So at what point though? Okay, so you're dating at this point, and he's already when you start, but before you even started, he's already talking about some dick pics and things like that. At what point does the idea? Because you didn't know he was into cuckoldry from the jump.
No.
When does that get first introduced?
So
How does that conversation go? Like, what was there any hints that maybe he's open? Did he try to get like other girls involved first? Like, what is that process?
So it was actually very blunt. It was about 3 months into our relationship.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
90 days.
Yeah, 90-day fiance. It's you got 90-day fiance. You got most like businesses. You got to stick out 90 days before you
Made it
get
through the
fired.
probationary
I
period.
did.
Yes.
I made it through the probationary.
You
period.
got your referral bonus. Like, okay, so 3 months in,
Yes.
he's like, hey, he just says, hey, I'm a cuck.
Well, he said, I have some fantasies, and I am a cuck, and I want to watch you get fucked by another guy with
Was
a
it-
big dick
Okay, so
who can fulfill you.
okay, so it was a big dick. It wasn't like I need to see you with a black guy, or I need to see you with an Asian, or I need to see you with this type of guy. It just had to be a big dick.
It had to be a large dick. I
Okay.
mean, under the surface, later
So-
on, I did kind of find out that there was some obsession with BBC,
Okay,
but at
big
the,
black cock. So let me ask you this: not that I care, but what was his size as far as penis? Because
Yeah.
if he wants you to fuck a big dick, I would assume that he's got the opposite.
Well, right, because there's a key phrase in there, like so that you could be fulfilled, as if
Yes.
he's not fulfilling enough on his own.
yes, so he was not big at all. He was
Really?
very small.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to say like 3 inches hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I was just talking about sandbagging. Did he do a proper sandbagging up front,
Yeah,
though?
was he like, I'm like an inch, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, it's 3 inches.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't sandbag, but I think where I fell for it is like early on when we were just kind of fooling around. It was very much like taking care of me and my needs.
Oh, I see.
So that was something I liked. You know, he didn't have the package, but he could take care of me in other ways.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, so I fell for a smoking blind
With a name
kind
like
of thing.
with a name like Spike, you would think
Yeah.
like, man, he's got the hammer, right?
No,
he's fucking laying it in.
He's got a spike like a tack.
Yeah,
That's what he's got.
There was nothing
Yeah.
there to work with. Like, you know how some people say, like, it's not about the size, it's about how you work it? There was
Yeah.
nothing there to
So
work
he couldn't
with.
work it
Wow.
either.
There was nothing there to work with.
Okay.
So then you kind of know that going in that he's not working a lot, but he's able to fulfill you in other ways. You
Now-
like him.
Real quick before we move on. The first time you saw it, what was your reaction?
Yeah.
Like, were you like holding back laughter? Was it that small, or were you like, sympathetic, or were you like, okay, I can work with it? Like, what was your take on like okay, you guys are hot and heavy in the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
He fucking whips his pants down and you see his dick and go.
I honestly was shocked, but I didn't want to offend him.
Okay, so did you do you know if you made a face like, oh,
I really hope not.
You're like, oh, that dick is so tight.
We had already started with like other stuff, like he'd already, pleased me in other ways.
Okay.
And then, it got to that and I kind of just like looked up and away
Okay,
and
so he
let
was-
him do his thing. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment where I was like, in my mind, I was like, is it in? But I
Okay.
don't want to ask that question.
Oh, wow.
So, because again, I didn't want to offend him. At
Right.
the time, he was a really sweet guy at the time.
Right. And,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's certain things you can look past if a person's treating you right. But like we're talking about he's obviously he's eating your box. We know that. And
Yeah.
He might be eating your ass or something, licking all up your body and shit. And then he inserts it, and it's like McLovin, where he's like, like kind of moving it around. And oh my god, it's in. And then you were probably like, oh my god, it's in. Like,
Well, just say, Bobby, that was the first time I ever had to fake an orgasm.
okay,
Wow.
all
And
right.
then I had to use my own toys later to
Oh,
Wow.
finish it off.
Now you using the rose, the rabbit. What are you using?
The bullet.
Ah, the bullet.
Oh, okay,
All right,
that's
we
the-
got it.
That's the toy of choice.
I feel like Howard Stern on this episode.
well, this is really, honestly, yeah,
Actually,
it is.
I feel like you're Howard Stern and I might be Robin.
Robin. Well, so at the end of the day, okay, you see he's got a small dick. You like him. You like his personality. You like everything about. He's able to take care of you. He does have a small penis, but you're able to look over that. And then he drops 90 days comes by. He drops this bomb on you. Boom. I need you to be fulfilled by big dicks.
Yes.
How does that come up? How do you
So-
even discuss
Are you
that?
guys at Applebee's and you're having
Yeah.
appetizers and he's like, I know I'm not satisfying you. That guy probably could.
No, honestly, it's really disappointing. It was over text.
Really?
He texted-
Wow.
Were you at work? Like, where were you when you got this
So
text?
at the time we were living separate. So
Okay.
I was
Okay.
at my house and he
Well,
was
it's only 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was just at home chilling and whatever, and he was like, yeah, so I need to talk to you. And I was like, what's
Okay.
going on? He's like, I do have some fantasies, something I want to make aware to you.
Real quick, when he said, "Do you need to talk?" I need to talk to you. Like what? Like your first initial? Because whenever I get "I need to talk to you," it's usually bad.
Yeah.
and it's
Yes.
usually like we need
Yes.
to work on something. Like, what was your first reaction
Oh,
to?
my heart dropped to my butt in
Okay.
a moment.
All
Like,
right.
I was like, okay, what
Okay.
happened? And but it was also a little bit of like, if he was like breaking up with me or something, because obviously that's where my head first went.
Right.
Like,
I mean, it's
all
only
right,
3 months.
Yeah.
At this point.
Right.
move on to the
Right.
next.
Right.
So then he says, okay, I like you to be satisfied by other men. I want you to be satisfied.
That's how he worded it. Like,
Yes.
I want you to be
I
satisfied.
want,
by
or
the
I
men.
want you to be fulfilled by other men with
Okay.
real cocks.
Wow,
Wow.
with real cock.
With
So
real cock.
so he's already kind of putting himself in this category of like, yeah, my cock ain't doing
Yes.
Okay.
it. Okay.
So he wanted to see me satisfied
Okay.
by a larger, more fulfilling cock.
Isn't
Got
there
it.
isn't there another way to do that though? Don't they have like toys to like extend your dick?
I think so. You can put put dicks on dicks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's
like I
an
think,
extendo thing.
Yeah, like a fucking erector set or some shit.
I mean, lesbians have dicks.
yeah,
that they can
lesbians
use.
have dicks.
You
Why
can just strap
didn't
a
you
dick
just have a
on.
lesbian dick?
Well, I think it went beyond that because then he went into like his biggest fantasy. Like he wanted to be tied up in a chair in the corner while a larger man with a real cock plowed me when he's
Jesus,
and he's helpless.
he used the word plow.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, all right,
Mr.
So,
Plow.
So via text, he goes, "Listen, we need to talk. I have a fantasy of like you being fulfilled by another man," and you're like, "Okay, where is this going?" And he's like, "So I need you to do this. Go to Home Depot, get a folding chair, get some rope." Tie me in the corner so I am helpless and I can watch you get plowed by other men with big cocks. That's all via text.
Preferably BBC.
Preferably BBC.
Big back cock.
All via text. And then how long did you leave him on red before you responded?
I was a little shocked. Honestly, I was like, where is this going? I kind of had a 50 Shades of Grey moment in my head. I was like...
Right, because I've seen 50 Shades of Grey, and, like, he goes to the fucking hardware store, like you said, and grabs, like, rope and shit, and I'm like...
Yeah. No, so then I was like, all right, I mean, I guess we'll see where it goes and we can discuss it more.
So you were open to you were at least open to it to satisfy him.
I was open to discussing it further. Like when I'm in a relationship and I have a partner, I'm very committed to my partner and I'm willing to go to that extra length and make them happy.
Okay, so did it make you uncomfortable at all? Like were you like, man, like,
every day.
Okay.
Every day.
All right, because I'd be like if I heard that news, like I'd be like, the fuck, like
yeah,
like
every day.
Did you ever bring it up to him about like, hey, this is I don't know if I'm really jiving with this whole gimmick that you want me to do?
I mean, eventually later down the line, I think I had some conversations with him, but in the beginning, like I said, I just
liked him.
I was in this moment of like, I really like you. You're my partner. I want to satisfy you in any way, and that's exactly what he wanted.
Now, like, were you like at the beginning when you met him before this the cucking thing happened? Like how was the relationship? Like, were you like, you know, this is gonna be a long term. This is only gonna last a couple of months. This is a filler. Like, what was your mindset? Like, were you like thinking that like you might marry this guy one day? Like where were you at?
Yeah, definitely. Like the conversations that we were having was very much like he was tired of fooling around. I was tired of fooling around.
He's like, oh my God, you're a Gemini. So am I. We can get along, like all that shit.
Definitely.
All right, cool.
But we were, you know, I was.
So it wasn't like some kind of like Tinder, just like, all right, like, or like, not even Tinder, but like, you know, I don't have anything right now. I'm just going to. A filler? It wasn't a filler. Like you guys were feeling
honestly,
each
like,
other.
meeting him was a complete like surprise. Like I said, I met him on Chill on the Hill, like a random encounter, and then you know he kept hitting me up, and it just it turned into something. And we both discussed like I was in my mid 20s, he was in his late 20s, and we were tired of fooling around. We wanted to start looking towards our future.
Sure.
He was discussing marriage and kids and houses with me. Like, he still lived with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that he wanted, was for us to build our relationship and then buy a house together.
And then it turned to, I'm going to have this young black man live with us so he can please you.
Yeah, it took a real quick turn.
So, okay.
Shout out to T the Monster. We could have got you on here, man.
So he tells you this via text. I need to be helpless in a chair. I need you to be fulfilled. This is all within the first text message. One block of text.
Well, was it like a novel?
Yeah.
It started off like bits and pieces at first, like this is what I'm into, this is what I want. Then he sent me this big long text, and I kind of was just like, what now? And I read it, and it was basically like rules and like a contract of what would entail if I got into this.
So wait, you had to sign a contract.
I had to like text virtually sign a contract, like agree.
Okay, so he didn't
over text.
He didn't send a PDF over with an e-sig.
It was literally over text.
Okay, got it.
And there was no what are those people that watch you sign something?
Oh, like a notary or something?
Notary.
Yeah.
There was no notary.
It was never legally official.
Okay.
Okay.
question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of this contract?
I definitely have like what was entailed in the contract and
Really?
all
Okay.
the rules that I had to go abide by.
Okay.
Can we hear said rules of
Yes.
said contract?
Can
Yes.
you tell us this contract? 'Cause-
Okay.
'cause, before she begins, I know John Cena made fucking Nikki Bella sign like a 32-page contract.
Well, and I understand that. You know, sometimes I wish I would have had people sign a contract that I've dated. You know, it would have really helped things out.
It's like that the Chappelle skit, the love contract.
Yeah. So
You
I
can't tell anyone that I lasted 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a good love contract. But
That
what's the
signifies real love.
what's the details of this one? That's what I want to know.
So it's not as exciting as it is in 50 Shades of Grey because
Okay.
it was basically just a bunch of rules he sent over to me that I had to agree to.
Okay.
But basically, any messages I had with any other man,
Okay.
I had to read through them with him.
Okay.
So
All right.
how would you get these messages from men?
So I had sorry about that.
That's
Wow.
right.
No, you-
We had that we both had access to a fake Tinder, a fake Snapchat,
Okay.
and we would communicate with
so
guys that way.
I'm assuming that you had your pictures on this.
My picture is different name.
Okay.
Got it,
All right, gotcha.
got it.
Yes.
What did it say in the profile? Not to get away from the contract. I just want to
Yeah.
know what's in the
Trying
dating
to
profile.
paint a picture.
Yes.
Not much in the profile. We kind of had some witty messages, like an office reference in there. We wouldn't start bringing up the
The details.
cucking or the details of what that entailed until we got someone on the hook.
Oh,
Gotcha.
really? That was
So
going to
it's
be the
a
next
bait and
question.
hook.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put it out there like looking for a third
Yes.
type thing, but okay.
And then at that point, we would then give out the fake Snapchat, which was an account we both had access to, both had the
Okay.
login to.
Sure.
And that's how we would do a lot of our communicating.
Okay.
Okay. And so from the point in which he sends you the contract, because I want to go through some of these details, some of these rules and everything, but just so I can get like a timeline of like, okay, so he sends you this thing, you look at it all over, and you're mulling it out over, and you do say yes.
I do.
At some point.
I
You-
said I would give it a try.
Now,
How long did it take to ramp this enterprise up?
Immediately, as soon as I told him that I would give it a try, and it was up for discussion.
Yeah.
He immediately started going into setting up the fake account, setting up a Reddit account.
A Reddit account?
Yes.
Now,
What's the Reddit account
Did
for?
you have any stipulations for yourself? Like he sends you this stuff, like we've only gone through the first bullet of the contract, which we'll go through more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you said. But did you have any stipulations? Were you like, did you initially read something and be like, nope, or we have to change this, or I'm going to add this? And if so, was he accepting to that?
So there were I honestly going into it, I was so inexperienced and like didn't understand everything that
Right.
I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But there was one where one of the rules is like he preferred me to go to the guy's house.
Okay.
That was one thing.
Alone?
Alone.
Okay.
Okay.
He required to have my location, but
Sure.
that was his preference. He
Okay.
wanted me to go to this guy's house, and I preferred to meet up in a more public
Yeah.
setting, and then
Have a coffee first.
Sure.
and then see how it goes.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. If you're going to these dudes' houses, like if I had, not that I would be into this shit, but if I had a girl and I'd be like, yeah, just go to this dude's house, like anything can fucking happen inside somebody's
Yeah.
house. Like so.
So he said when I first brought that up, it kind of was like I said, it was his preference, so he was a little upset by it. But he said, okay, well, it's up for discussion.
Okay, so it's not necessarily changed, but we can discuss
Yes,
it.
like if
and
I was
maybe
ever uncomfortable,
compromise on something.
then-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what else is in this contract? I'm doing air quotes.
All right, so the biggest rule for him was seeing the size of the dick was how it was approved or denied.
Okay.
So-
Soft with girth. What's going on?
It had
here?
to be thick and large.
Thick and large.
Thick
all right.
and large.
Thick and large.
Thick and so how many dicks didn't make the cut?
I can't. I mean, there's a lot.
Now-
It's Tinder. Come on, Melvin. It's Tinder.
So question for you. You're talking to this dude on Tinder, right? Or the combination of the both of you are talking to this dude on Tinder, and he sends a dick pic. Now, if it's not to the satisfaction of the contract or him, what happens? Do you ghost him? Do you just block him?
Oh yeah, communication stops immediately.
Oh,
Wow.
immediately. Like you're not even like you see his dick and like you ain't like goodbye. This ain't gonna work. Like
Yep.
it's like bam block
No,
or
it was-
fam. We're not
yeah.
talking.
The approval denial process was very quick.
Oh Jesus.
Just like Shark Tank, and with that, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just not.
Mark Cuban, I'm out.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Dick too small.
The cubes,
Not enough girth.
Yeah,
not enough girth.
It was real quick. It was done. Like that's not something we're interested in. And move
Now,
on
did
to
you
the
have to
next.
see the? Did you have to see the dick, like compared to something like a bottle next to the dick? To
Yeah,
see-
for
to-
size.
To size
Well,
reference.
there were times
scale.
where it would take a couple pics,
Okay.
to
Yeah.
size up. Okay, exactly
I'd be
how.
pissed if I sent my dick and then like I'd never heard anything. I'm like,
God,
what
yeah.
the fuck, dude? Like, damn.
Because I'm not even like a dick. I'm not a dick pic guy. Like if some girl asks me for a dick pic, I'm like, nah, we're not gonna do
See,
that.
I gotta take like 20 so it looks good.
Yeah, I'm just not. I just don't like it. I'm not a big. You can see it in person for sure, but I'm not sending you pictures of that. And for that reason, I wouldn't be.
I'm gonna take
entangled in
I'm
this.
gonna take 6 blue chews and then send you a pic.
Yeah.
So it's raging hard.
I don't know the specifications of the requirements exactly, but all I know is it had to go to him, and he was very
So he
specific about.
So he
what
had the
wanted.
approve or deny button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when said dick was denied, did he take over the account where he would not allow that person to message?
A lot of times we'd be together because, like I
Okay.
said, we were both
Okay.
reading through messages.
So it's
and
not
stuff.
like he's in the office swiping through Tinder,
Well-
looking at dicks, and then you're at home or you're in the office.
So at first, no, but I did catch a couple times where he was messaging these guys as me.
on your behalf.
That should have
yeah.
been in the contract. That should have been on your end.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Too inexperienced,
Look.
I guess. Next time, I'll get it.
Be like, look, man, like I fully support your contract, but I don't mess around with those gays.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's
it started very like we were in it together, and then like I did notice a few times. A fun fact: I actually logged back in about a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow,
Mind
really?
you, we've been broken up for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there was new action on our fake Snapchat account.
ooh.
Really interesting.
So he has been messaging as me. So I deleted the account,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
But that was an
Spike's
interesting
trying
fact.
Spike's trying to get it in with
Yeah.
some.
Spike's still
let me-
trying to use Kelsey's lovely pictures.
Now let me ask you this: so you try this, and I understand a little bit. I don't understand the mindset of the cuckolding and all this, but I understand a little bit of the mindset of like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this because I love you and I
Yes.
want to do. So you do this just to kind of like, hey, I think maybe this will be like a fun little activity to do every now and again.
Fun little activity. They're not building Legos.
I understand, but I'm just trying to be as charitable as possible. Like it's okay, I can maybe sell it as a fun little activity once in a while. But two things. Number one, what was it sounded like this was an all like all the focus was on this. This was there any other like romanticism outside of cuckolding, or did it become an
Oh, yeah.
obsession?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, at first, so at this point, I had just been sent the rules.
Okay.
And up until this point, like I said, he was a very loving, caring, nice
He's a
guy.
decent
He
dude.
took me out on dates,
yeah.
he was very much about me, pleasing me in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
And like I said, we had already talked about a future together. I know it seemed very early, but we were, like I said, I was in my mid-20s at the time, and he was in his late 20s at the time. And so it seemed like we were going somewhere. And I was like, okay, well, if this is something that I'm feeling with this man, I'm willing to try to make you happy in this sense.
Make some
Yeah.
kind of a compromise
Yes.
about it. So that was the first rule.
Oh yeah, we didn't even make it past the first
we
rule.
didn't move
That's
past the
right.
first rule. So the first rule was, if you could repeat the first rule
Yeah.
again.
So the first rule was we had to read all messages together.
Okay.
And then the second rule was the approval of the dick.
Okay,
Got
so
it.
Which had to be large.
that was the second rule of the
Second.
contract?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, I would think, like, you would start
It's
off
important, like the
soft.
Second Amendment to him. This is
Well,
big.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes. The third one was feelings. So if I ever developed feelings with another man, I had to immediately communicate with him, and I would have to cut off all communications with that other man.
so okay, let me backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this contract is strictly for the cuckolding. This isn't like a relationship contract. This is
Yes.
strictly for the cucking.
Yes.
Okay. So the cuck-e is making rules for the cucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He's in essence, it sounds like he's kind of like bottoming from the top. Like
Yes,
he's setting the rules for him to be
A bitch.
a bit, to be bitched out.
So
Because he's got a little dick.
Yeah.
all right.
Anyways.
So we got the first, second, and third rule. I
Yeah.
believe.
How many rules are there? There are 10. There better be
There's-
10.
There's 9 in total.
Okay.
Right.
He should have at least added one more
I
just
know.
for a nice solid.
I
10.
know. I love even numbers. That was something
Yeah.
that irked me for years.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So we got rules 1 through 3.
At
What's
least he didn't pick a prime number.
Yeah. Wasn't 9 a prime number? Wait a minute. Oh, 3? Okay, never mind.
1, 9,
so
and 3.
So the fourth rule, I was not allowed to tell anyone at all about the sexual adventures we were going on.
Looks like
Okay.
you're breaking that rule right now.
Yeah, you're breaking
I
that rule.
broke
so-
that rule long ago. I told my best friend like
Okay.
Okay.
forever ago.
All right. While you
right.
guys were still together.
Yes.
Okay.
Ah.
Poor Spike.
Poor my best friend. She had to see him after that
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That's
and
true.
to pretend she didn't know anything.
So that was the fourth rule.
Fourth.
You can't tell anyone.
Yes.
I would think that would be rule number 1, right? Rule number
Yeah.
1, you can't tell anyone.
Yeah, like Fight Club. You can't talk about it.
Exactly.
Rule number 2. Hey, you can't, just to make sure it's
Yes.
important.
Rule
Don't
number 1.
bury that in there.
Rule number 1, you can't talk about cucking. Rule number 2, you can't talk about these dicks that I'm getting.
Yeah. Plus, it would have given you the 10 rules that we needed. But anyway.
Exactly.
So rule number 5. So he had to have my location and know where I was at all
Okay.
times.
That's fair.
That's with this situation. Like, I don't know about this situation, but this situation, it seems like that is actually a smart idea because, like we said earlier, if you're going to some random dude's house, if he's not coming over, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you're a female, you're good looking, you know, it could be,
Yeah.
you know, a little dangerous. So that I agree with.
Rule number 6. That was the one he preferred me to go home with the guy, and if not, like if I felt uncomfortable with going home with the guy, it could be up for discussion. But he wasn't into me doing anything in like cars or
Gotcha. 'Cause
anything
that was,
like that.
That was going to be my next question. If you're not going home with the guy, what would be the alternative? Would it be a car? Would it be a motel? Would it be your house? Like,
It would not have been my house because that was not allowed. He would have been fine with me coming to his mom's basement, but a lot of guys were not up for that.
okay.
You want to
So-
come to this house? It's this dude's house. I know. It's his mom's basement.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard enough as a dude to bring someone back to your mom's
Like,
basement,
have you
let
ever-
alone another dude.
Have you had that situation? Did you have to bring a dude to his mom's basement? And who did you explain who the fuck was upstairs if you did?
No.
Who's that old lady up there, by the way? Is that your mom?
Luckily,
Nah.
that never happened, but there was a situation that it arose that a guy, you know, was hitting on me, and we had the conversation going. The dick was approved. Everything was going well.
Dick was approved.
And he wanted him to come to his mom's condo
Yeah.
in the basement and fuck me there. But the guy, unfortunately, was not like, he's like, nah, I'm not in for
Like-
it. So it never actually happened.
Yeah.
Don't mind my mom doing a puzzle upstairs.
I mean, it's very hard especially once you bring up the cucking thing. But even that, like, it's very hard. Like, hey, do you want to come back to this guy's random basement?
But the thing is like you would have to lie about who the woman upstairs. Like if she was like presentable, or if you walked through the door and she was just sitting at the kitchen table putting a 1,000-piece puzzle together, or sewing, or knitting, or watching fucking Jeopardy. Who the fuck is that woman? Like,
Yeah.
you would be
Yeah.
like, you'd have to have a whole elaborate story. Either like that's your mom, or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, luckily, most of these, you know, encounters that I had with other men was all at bars or local settings, and they honestly, like, were pretty decent guys. I never got an uncomfortable ick or vibe or anything like that. So most of the time, yes, I was just going back to their house.
So when you met up with these guys, when you saw them in a bar, social setting, or whatever, how long into the conversation are you like, I'm in a relationship, my man wants me to fuck you, and whatever?
Well, so usually, like, we try to just bring it up when we're just talking over messages.
Okay, so you're not. It's not like you and Spike are out to dinner,
No.
or at the bar. You're at like a pub or something. You see a hot guy over there. Who knows if he has a big dick or not, because that's one of the rules. So it's not like that scenario where you're meeting guys on the fly. It's all these dating apps.
Yes.
Tinder, Bumble, whatever.
I mean, so one of the rules later down, actually the next rule, was he wanted me to flirt with guys in public in front of him, but only of his choosing.
Okay.
But in those situations, we kind of just saw where it went, and then I would either get their number or get their Snapchat for the fake Snapchat. But yes, all of the setting up of the cucking was over messaging.
But are you at a bar, or are you at like an Applebee's where you're sitting down in a booth and he points and he's like, okay, that guy you can flirt with? Or are you like sitting in a bar or a booth at a bar and being like, okay, you can go talk to that guy? And how does that work? Because the guy has to see that you're with another guy, and then you leave, like, how does that work?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of anywhere. I can think of, there's been bars. There was
grocery stores. Like, are you going down the frozen fruit aisle and see this dude, taking fucking Bosco sticks?
No, usually it was a bar setting. There was a couple like bar and grill restaurants where it was more so like, so there's obviously the restaurant part where we were, and then there's the bar area. So on the way to and from the bathroom, I sneak in a little flirt here and there, catch them out, like see if they're available and play it like that. But then like also like there was a Red Wings game I went to with his friends at the time. Eventually I became best friends with one of his friends girlfriends, but at the time, I was just going with his friends, and there was this guy checking me out. My best friend kind of pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I texted him, let him know. He's like, oh, that's so hot. Get it. Like,
now, did the friends know at this point, or were they completely clueless?
My best friend knew at this point.
Okay. So
everyone else know, but my best friend did know.
So you're at a Red Wings game, and you go up to this dude. Did you go up to him? Like, did this?
Yes.
So you actually went up to him?
Once his friends went back to their seats, we kind of stayed back. And yes,
Spike's friends. Yes. Once Spike's friends went to their seats, you stayed back to talk to this guy.
Yes.
So this guy, you go and you went and talked to him.
I did.
And you talked to him. Did he ask about Spike? Because Spike's standing right there, right?
Spike was not next to me when I approached him.
But like, still, he had to have seen you with Spike, no?
At the time he saw me, I was in a group of people, so it was all of us together.
Okay, so he didn't know you were if you were single, in a relationship, you had it with a bunch of people. Okay, so you go up to this dude, and what do you say? Are you like, hey, like I kind
of just go with the like, oh, like hi, like are you here with anyone? And then we kind of just started talking about more and more stuff, and we talked about the Red Wings and everything like that. And he's like, do you want me to buy you a drink? I was like, yeah, of course.
Right.
And then
pretty privilege.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's a girl thing.
It is a girl thing. It fucking sucks.
And then he asked if I was with anyone. I was like, hey, let's, go talk. And I kind of was just like playing it up. Obviously, I'm not going to bring it up then and there.
You said you asked him if he was with anyone.
Yes.
Did he ask you if you were with anyone?
He did eventually, yes.
So what did you say?
But only after I got his Snapchat, and then he was Snapchatting.
So he didn't give a fuck, like, until you got his Snapchat. Then he's like, oh, yeah, are you single?
Yeah.
Like, so what did you tell him? Like, are you like, I'm in a situationship? Are you in, like, a relationship that you're cucking your dude? Like how does that work?
I kind of just played it in like I am in a relationship, but it's
Well, my man loves huge dick.
it's semi-open, and he's up for me fucking other dudes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's pretty.
And that's
pretty honest.
how I got a lot of guys. Because like if you say like
yeah. If they know up front what they're getting into,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a dude's probably gonna fuck you. You
Yeah.
know.
And it's just a hookup then anyway. They kind of have that because I've had
no strings attached.
Yeah, and there's a no strings attached thing. I'm with somebody. He doesn't really care what I do, but obviously I'm with somebody, so you're not gonna be the number one dude in my
Yes.
life. You're
Right.
gonna be. Yeah.
So, that was what rule?
That
was
was number 7.
Okay, so we have 2 more, right?
Yes.
All right. So the rule number 7, if you could repeat rule number 7.
So
Yeah.
he wanted me to flirt with guys in
Okay.
public of his choosing.
Okay, so if me and Melvin were out there, Spike might be like, "Fuck that dude, go flirt with Melvin. He looks like he's got a big dick. Fucking go ask him his dick size, and we can get this shit wrapping."
Yes.
All right. What's rule number 8?
Rule number 8 was friends, past lovers, acquaintances, and coworkers are off limits.
So basically,
Okay.
everyone you know.
Yes.
Okay.
I got you. It's got to be outside of all that.
Yes.
Okay. So, that makes sense because what was the third rule? You couldn't say anything. For some
Yeah.
reason, it was the third
Yeah.
rule, not the
Wasn't-
first rule.
Wasn't that important? Which is why we're hearing about it now.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and then the last rule that he had given me was that I had to leave all traces of any male cum on me for him to enjoy. Yeah.
Did it say for him to enjoy?
Yes.
For him to enjoy. Okay, so,
Have
quick
you ever
question.
seen dried up cum? Like, you can't enjoy it.
So, quick question.
Yes.
What was his method of enjoyment?
He would either lick it off me or suck it out of me.
Suck it out of you. Now, if it was like, if the guy shot on your face, I hate to be so crass, but if he was to just shoot jizz all over your face,
No, yeah.
would you have to like leave it on and just let it harden and drive home?
Well, it's funny that you asked because there was actually a couple times that this was a successful cuck.
It was a successful cucking.
Yeah, that's what
okay.
we call
Is that what we call it? A successful
successful
cuck?
cuck.
Cucking one, yeah.
So I did meet up with this Tinder guy. He knew about it. He matched me and we talked.
Yeah, sure.
And me and Spike went over the messages. The dick was approved by Spike. And so we met up at a bar and we got to talking and he was fully aware of the whole situation. Spike had my location and was getting constant updates throughout the whole night.
And where were you? At like a bar?
We were just at a bar.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we had a few drinks, hung out, talked, got the conversation flowing. I felt comfortable going home with him, so he took me home. Once I got back to his house, again, we kind of just had a couple drinks, kind of loosening up and
Right.
stuff like that. And then so I blew him. And one of the rules was this guy had to take video and pictures of me sucking his dick.
Really?
Okay, and he was down for that.
He was, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, he
Because
was.
like, I don't know, man. I would be like, man, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't like video. Like, I don't like video like that. So like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it was like strictly like his lower regions and my
Right.
head and my face.
well, I got tattoos, so people might see my arms or some shit.
Right.
So he wanted like videos and pictures of that, and then he had to come on my tits, face, and in my mouth.
So he had to do
Gotcha.
all 3.
Yeah.
That's a
He had to
lot
hit
of
the-
spots.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking.
It's a lot of real estate to cover. I'm
Yeah,
Well,
man.
the whole reason was
What if he's not a heavy comer?
I was to leave any cum on my face and tits
Yeah.
until I got home, so Spike could lick it off.
Yeah, what if it's like a boil over situation though? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really shoot, but it just kind of like boils over like a
Just
a
cup
pot.
it.
Just, you just gotta like cup it out and be like,
Yeah.
can you splash me with it?
Or,
like how
like,
you
you
wring
know,
out a fucking
We have me and Melvin
brush.
have plenty of stories on this podcast about like going to fast food restaurants and stuff after the bar. What if you were hungry and you had cum all over your face and went through Wendy's
Oh no, I
drive-thru?
had to go straight home.
Oh, you had to go straight home. You couldn't even get like a
No.
fucking 10-piece nugget.
I had to go straight home. I was not allowed to brush my teeth or shower or anything, and we had to immediately
Oh.
get into it. So we started making out, and then we started fucking, and I had to explain how big Tinder guy's dick was to him to get him off.
wow. This is very detailed. A detailed process. Now, what rule number were we on?
Oh, that was the
That was
last.
the last
That
one.
the
That was
last
number
one.
9.
That was number 9.
Yeah.
So there's a couple because I've been writing down some things here that I've got to get like a second.
I told
page.
you I was gonna blow your guys' mind.
I know.
Yeah,
We're
this
like, this was not supposed to be the episode.
Yeah.
Now we can't even go through a Wendy's drive-through because we got cum on our face.
Yeah.
We got to get back home to
Those
Spike.
Darn Frosties.
So couple things that come to mind. So couple things. You mentioned there were times where like the other guys got to like film him, you know, you blowing him and all this other stuff like that. And I mean this just to kind of like how extensive of a library of footage was accumulated over this time?
Oh, so there was multiple videos, multiple pictures,
then-
and that was the thing. Another rule, I guess, that he didn't write down, but it was just kind of something we discussed. I was not allowed to keep any of the pictures or videos.
Really?
He kept all the dick pics, all the pictures of everything.
Really?
He kept them on a hidden folder on his phone.
Really? So you couldn't even have control, and it's you that's getting is like the subject of all this, and yet
Yeah.
you have no. The other thing, and I was curious about this because you mentioned about a fake, you know, Snapchat and the Tinder and everything. You mentioned a Reddit.
Oh yeah.
What was the Reddit for?
So the Reddit was a lot of more so he used a lot of Reddit and porn for inspiration.
Okay.
And at first, like, it was kind of just normal stuff that went along with cucking. I was like, okay,
Sure.
whatever.
Sure. Subreddits for everything.
Stuff like cuckold, hot wife. There was black cocks on
Sure.
there and stuff like that. But then I did notice that I went on there. Usually we went on together.
Sure.
And at one point I just logged on by myself, and he had posted my nudes.
That's what I was getting at. Okay.
He
got it.
posted my lingerie and my nudes pictures on Reddit.
Face and everything?
Not my face, but my tattoo was showing.
Ooh.
Oh,
And so I kind of
wow.
I was like, okay, how do I go about this? Because he could get kind of upset when I went at him, like
Like when you
full
were
on.
defying it all.
Yes.
Like when you didn't agree with
Yes.
what the shit
So
was
I had,
doing.
I told him, I was like, it's fine because he just wanted more guys to comment and say dirty things. That's
Yeah.
what he
That's what
wanted.
he got off on.
Yeah.
So-
But I was like, dude, my tattoos in there. Like, if someone sees that, they, and on Reddit, it's out there forever. Like,
Right.
even if I delete it, like, it's out there.
Well, yeah,
forever.
because somebody out there is saving it for their own
Yeah.
personal,
Right.
you know.
or re-threading it and whatever. Like,
So you mentioned Red Wings game. I'm not sure if you're a sports fan, but obviously you went to a Red Wings game with a bunch of your friends with Spike and all that. With the dicks that were sent? Did he have like a top 25 like college football? Like, this dick is in the top 25 and then it gets dropped out if he says something different. Like, did he have his favorite dicks to look
he
at?
definitely had his favorites that we would reference as foreplay.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
a lot of the reading through messages on Tinder and Snapchat and then looking through these dick pics, that was a majority of our foreplay. And honestly, sometimes it became kind of a chore because you're basically like putting on this whole play and reading through this.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
you got to have either a monitor or your phone while you're,
Yeah.
doing the biz to your significant other.
And like I said, he had some like great obsession with BBC. Like
Really?
it was
T the Monster, let's get you over here.
So, all right. So,
Melvin's got so many notes right now.
There's so many
I can
questions
imagine.
I got here. So, because number one, how did that ever like? So you called him out because he was posting your nudes out there. There was something that was able to be identified, even if it wasn't your face. Did he stop posting at that point, or did it continue to go? Like, did he continue to post even though you weren't really vibing with the idea of him putting your shit out there?
That I know of, it stopped. I never saw anything again.
Got it.
He did eventually take them down, but like I said, they're already out there.
Right.
But who knows how many burner accounts this dude has?
True. That's
If he's going on Reddit and all these other fucking social medias with these fake profiles, like, who fucking knows?
Yeah, and then
Fucking Spike, dude.
so out of curiosity, like, okay, so you get some of these guys. Was there anybody that was like a fake? a fan favorite?
Like a top 25. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. Like,
Was there somebody that you?
bam.
But what I mean is like, was there like repeat scenarios? Were there people you kept in the roster?
Did you have Darnell on speed dial to be like, fucking, all right, we need to get off. Let's text Darnell and we'll get hot and heavy.
No, honestly, like I will say that first Tinder guy that I met up with, he was probably a favorite, mostly because he was willing to do the most.
Okay.
Because then again, I went back to him.
Okay, so he was the first.
He was the very first.
How many total were there that you met up?
I'd say in total for the 3 years there was 10 different guys.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so-
you hit double digits.
So there was a lot of repeat action with some of
Yes.
these people. Okay, it wasn't a one and done, and you just churn and
Yes.
burn. And okay,
And
got it,
how
got it.
often? Like if you saw, we'll use Darnell. If you saw Darnell once and he was awesome, like how often would you see Darnell versus the other guys? Like if number 10 wasn't that great, but hey, let's switch it up. Like like would you see him once a week, once a month? Like
It was
3
always
years?
once a week.
Once a week. Okay.
But working towards that once a week, it was like an everyday thing. Every night thing. We would be going through messages.
So
Oh, wow.
you're fucking through these messages every night.
Yes.
But once a week, you're actually
setting up the
yes,
encounter.
okay. And then was it like I know people like say Imagine Theater has half off on Tuesdays and they have their fucking date night on Tuesday. Was it like a date night thing? Like every Thursday I'm fucking getting fucked by another dude.
It
Or I have
wasn't-
semen all over me going home to my
Yeah.
spike.
It
Cuck
wasn't
Thursday.
Yeah.
It wasn't like specifically every day, but usually it was closer to always being on a Saturday because that's when he had off work.
Got it.
Okay, gotcha.
'Cause-
So was it during the day or was it night? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you going Saturday morning grocery shopping and then, hey, let's cuck at 1 and then we'll go out to the bar tonight to celebrate? Or are you going to the bar at night, find yourself a cuck and it's Saturday night? Or, I just need to know the routine. Like, this is so new.
it was usually at night.
Okay,
Because we'd always usually go to a restaurant or a bar,
gotcha. Saturday night, date
have
night.
a drink.
Saturday night fever.
I don't know about you guys, but I always needed a drink or two to get me to
Yeah.
To
You know.
suck a dick that you don't know.
Yeah.
get more comfortable into the situation.
Real quick side note. You guys dated for how long?
3 years.
3 years. Did he ever move out of his mom's basement?
No.
Got it. So he's still in his mom's basement.
That I know of.
Yeah.
Actually, his mom passed away,
Oh, okay. That's-
but I'm not sure where he is at this point. But
okay. Well, I mean, at that
When was
point,
the last? Before we get into more of the story, when was the last time you talked to him?
I want to say a few months ago.
Okay.
Got it. You mentioned? Is there any of the guys that you met up with? Is there any that you grew attached to that maybe when this is all over, I could be with this guy?
Yeah.
You know.
Not really, because when I was going into it, I was going into it for the sole purpose of
Pleasing
satisfying
him.
Spike.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So my mind was never like thinking or even letting myself think of a potential with these guys because the sole purpose was to satisfy Spike.
Did it ever change to the point where like the relationship may have been going sour and then you started thinking about it?
Not really, because I mean the relationship did eventually get sour, and we'll get into that. But it was more so I just stopped wanting to please him.
Gotcha. And you were like, I don't want to be a whore for you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, I guess that's going to be the other question I had written down here is like, out of all of this activity, it became like an everyday task to go through dicks and talk about dicks and send messages and set up dates.
There's
and all
so
this.
many dicks.
Did you ever like actually enjoy this?
I think I enjoyed pleasing him, and I think at a certain point I felt important in his life for that reason. But I will say it was exhausting, especially
I can
working
imagine.
full time and going to school full time at the same time.
So,
there was a lot going on.
Basically,
Yeah.
outside the first 5-minute intro, we've been talking about cucking
Yeah.
the entire time. Talking about big black cock, Darnell in the corner.
No, he's in the corner.
No,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
in the
he's-
corner.
yeah.
Darnell's fucking me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lysol might be there.
Lysol.
Who knows? Was he into anything else? Like
Yeah.
it is like you got the cock holding down, right? So he's into you fucking other dudes because he's got a small dick. You said I think 3 inches. work with what you
so
got.
he was definitely obsessed with the cucking thing.
Right.
Like I said, his biggest fantasy, honestly, was every single time he wanted me to go out and fuck these guys and then leave the cum up inside me, and he
Right.
sucked it out. But I will say that, something that...
But like there's got to be a little bit of like, not like at least bi curious or bisexuality.
Well, so that's when
or
I started
something.
to like notice some change in the Reddit account, because then in the Reddit account I started noticing a little bit more like bisexual videos following that, threesomes with two guys, and then pegging, which brings us to a year into our relationship, and I found out he liked to be pegged.
So it took
Really?
him. Okay, so you said 3 months was the cucking thing. Like
Yes.
3 months is like, hey, I want you to. I have this fucking enormous black man that I want you to fuck the shit out of. He's got a fucking 18-inch dick.
Yeah.
And it took 9 months later to be like, hey, not only do I want you to fuck Darnell, but I want you to fuck me in the ass.
Well, so it kind of started with a drunken night. We were both kind
Everything happens with drunken
of...
night.
we
Yeah.
were both fucked up, and we were kind of fooling around, and he asked for me to finger and lick his asshole.
Okay.
And so, I mean,
Been there. I mean, who
I'd
hasn't?
never done that with a guy, though, so I was like, all right. So I kind of fingered it, a little bit,
Alright.
like, whatever,
A little around the rim. It's like a cheat code to get you off.
Like, I didn't, at that point, lick his,
Lick his-
asshole,
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
licked his gooch and kind of
Okay.
played around a little bit down there.
I mean, you love him. At this
Yeah.
point, you
Yeah,
love
yeah.
him. Like, you're trying to
Yeah.
satisfy
We've
him.
been
He's
together for a
satisfying you.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very next
Now,
night.
you said he had, like, a similar Italian name. Was his ass, like, hairy as fuck?
He was hairy. I used to have to help him shave his back.
Ugh.
Like
He's got that Dr. Pure back pussy on his fucking...
Oh yeah, his friends
Ugh.
always made fun of him for it too. But
So not only... Can't imagine licking a hairy ass. Anyway.
the things you do for the people you love. But then, so the very next night, I got home from work. We had a few drinks. We had dinner, and then we were sitting there, and he pulled out a strap-on. That
Oh, he just had.
he had it
Oh,
already.
he already had it.
And he's like, will you fuck my ass? He said, I want you to fuck my ass. And I was like, I don't know where that's been. So no, I don't know. Or I don't know where or who that's been on. So
Right.
no.
So, okay, so he wants you to fuck his ass.
Yes.
And this is after you've licked and fingered his ass,
Yes.
right? Could you, like, obviously, I'm assuming that he got fucked in the ass before. Like, is his asshole blown out? Like, or is it, like, I've only seen puckered assholes.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, because if he's doing that in the reg, there's that O-ring only has so much life
Yeah.
to it.
I'm not sure. I am assuming that he was with a woman before me because he already had a strap on
Okay.
before me.
Either that or he's fucking himself.
But I will
Yeah.
say, like, when I said no because I didn't want to use this strange strap on from some strange woman,
What color was it?
it was green.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that night, he's like, okay. So we went to a sex shop and bought a brand new strap on.
Lover's Lane?
Naughty Time
Oh,
Novelties.
gotcha.
Ooh.
I used to deliver to an Intimate Moments, and I delivered some, like, real dolls. Dude, those fucking things, man.
Well, they're heavy.
They're like 130 pounds.
Yeah.
It's like a real woman.
And like the box, the box is only height or waist height, right?
Yeah.
The fucking doll is bent over with her head in between her legs, and that's how it's delivered. Anyway, just a little side note.
no, so we went and got this new strap on and
And what color was that one?
purple.
Purple.
Okay, there we
All
go.
right.
Nice.
Yes. And it was bigger than the last one.
Oh,
Oh.
there we go.
Yeah.
What did now? Was that his choice or your choice?
His choice. He picked it out.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was like, hey.
So he was like your puppy when you bring him to the
Yeah.
store and like you let him pick out a toy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then that was the first night I fucked his ass.
Now,
First of many, I take it.
Yes.
So-
yes.
It was one of his favorite
so
things.
what position are you in? Are you haven't bent over like doggy style? Is he fucking riding you like?
So it kind of was all over, but his favorite was definitely doggy.
Okay. He
to
liked
be
being bent
doggy.
over?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Did he also like to be demeaned? Did like when you were fucking him in the ass? Did you also have to like insult him,
Like, you're a
call him like a piece
bitch.
of shit? Yeah.
No, it was more so just like,
take
do
that
you like
shit.
this big dick? Like, you
Oh.
know,
Yeah, I got you.
like,
Gotcha.
is it stretching you? Like, you
I
know.
see. So calling him like
He
gay slurs
always
and
wanted
stuff was
me.
not
He always wanted me to say like breeding too, like
Breeding?
breeding him with
Oh.
it.
I'm gonna breed you.
Yeah.
Okay. So while you're breeding him for the
Wow.
for the first time, like, do you have a rhythm? Like, do you know what you're doing back there? Because as a female, I don't know if you have that rhythm of fucking a dude in the ass. Or like, you know, because like as a guy, like if we're fucking from behind, we have
Yeah.
a little bit of a rhythm, right?
Right,
Do,
right,
do you
right.
know what you're doing back there?
I
like,
honestly didn't at first. Like I like I don't know. He didn't say anything, but I'm sure if there was a recording of it somewhere, it was probably the worst
like
doggy style you'll ever
like
see
did
in
you
your life.
did he guide the cock into his ass?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then I kind of just like went with it from there. But obviously, like
Right.
I've never fucked someone
Right.
like that before. So
Yeah.
I eventually found my rhythm though. But his honestly, what helped is like one of his favorite things was the sex swing. Is he would get up in a sex swing.
Oh, and he would get in it, not you.
and it would kind of swing. It was attached to like the door jamb.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Oh, so you're just
So
right in
I've-
the doorway.
Yeah.
I've used one of those,
Uh-huh.
but I've never been in the swing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's good to know,
Yeah,
Bobby.
so
Can I, real quick though, was at any point in time, was there just any sort of just normal sex at all? Like, was there just like, hey, we're all hot and bothered and we're just gonna fuck missionary? Was there any of that? Just
So in the beginning there was.
Sure.
And that's like, so in the beginning, like we would still have normal sex. I was still getting pleasured, you know, normally. But then the more and more we got into it, it just seemed the more and more he became obsessed with
Yeah.
cucking and pegging.
like, was there any point in time? Was it basically like if you, because this is where I'm kind of getting at. Is like you want to have sex, but then you realize like, fuck, I gotta jump through all these hoops just to even.
yeah, at this
Get it
point,
going,
at
like-
that point, like if you're not into the shit that he's into, I'll just
Yeah.
masturbate.
Yeah.
Oh, there was plenty of nights where I'm just like, I'm too tired for this.
Yeah,
like,
well, 'cause it's
I
very
worked all
taxing.
day and I don't want to come home and have to read through 20 pages of messages.
Yeah, like
And
like that's what I mean. It's like I've been in relationships where it's like sometimes it's like, okay, the problem is you know, I know that I have it's more than you want, more than one thing, or you want a lot more than me just having, like sometimes you just want to just have simple sex and just be done with it.
Right.
And then you're kind of like, okay, that took me like 15 minutes, we're good. It doesn't need to be an all night thing.
Yes.
You know, and it's like it sounds like every single time turned into that.
Well, the
And-
lucky thing was, though, so one of his things that he loved is when I was fucking him doggy style with the strap on,
Yeah.
he wanted me to take pictures and videos of me fucking him.
Ah.
So then on nights where I was like, I'm not.
That would satiate
He
him.
would just
and he would just
go
jerk off.
watch-
He would
yeah,
just jerk
he would
off
just
that.
go watch
So it'd be
those.
his own porn or whatever.
Yeah.
So I want to ask real quick before we get off the subject. Like if you say, you know, you worked, Kelsey, I know you're a hardworking girl. You work like a 12-hour shift, right? And you come home, you're not in the mood. He wants you to fuck him in the ass, and you don't. Like, is he? What is his reaction? Like,
He'll get upset. He would get upset. There was plenty of times that I, you know, either I came home and I was too tired. At the time, I was full-time working and full-time going to school. And, or like there's been times where we'd get in a huge fight because another thing is he's very like picky about where things were. Like I couldn't leave my shoes by the basement door, even though I just got home from work. All the dishes had to be done, even though most of them were his.
so you had to do like motherly duty, or not motherly duties, but like housewife duties.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he like a fight would start about that, and then we get in this huge fight, and I'm like, okay, whatever, like, and we'd do our own thing, and then he'd come over like, oh, you want to fuck my ass tonight? I'm like, no. He's like, wow, you don't even love me. Like, you don't love me.
But the fucked up thing is like, okay, this motherfucker is Spike. He's bent over the bed, right? He wants to get railed in the ass. Yet he makes you to do all the fucking like housewife duties, and like so like Melvin said, he's like bottoming from the top into a point where like, okay, you have to satisfy me and do all this shit around the house and kind of be your maid, but then you have to fuck me in the ass and make me feel like a little bitch. Like, it would feel like he would have to do those duties too, you know, to complete the role. Yet he is making you do it, and then he's making you fuck him in the ass, and then if you don't, then you don't love him.
Trust me, Bobby. Looking back, I should have made that boy my bitch.
Man, you could like this dude should have went. He not only should he have been your bitch, but he should have went into some kind of housekeeping where he could have fucking wore like a fucking little maid's outfit or some shit and fucking cleaned up after people, and then came home and got fucked in the ass.
Wow, that's.
I mean, he
That's
loved
something.
it. Like, anything to do with his ass. I mean, it even turned into he would walk around the basement with butt plug tails in. So there was butt plugs. That
What animal?
So there was a fox, a rabbit, and a cat.
Sweet.
Now, you mentioned he still lived with
His
his
mother.
mom. Did she ever get a hint of any of this going on?
I don't think so. She never, like, there was times that she came down when we were just, like, getting into some things and we'd just run into the bathroom. Because the whole basement was set up, like, I mean, we had basically an apartment down there. But other than that, she never really came down.
I can only imagine her coming down, right? He's got his fucking cat butt plug tail in, right? She comes down, he hides behind the couch, and he's like on all fours, yet she sees the tail, and she's like, when did we get a cat?
Well, she was blind at this point.
Oh, all right. Well, that
was a bummer.
Yeah.
That helps. Well, here's the other thing. Then this covers the other piece of this, though. She may have lost her sight, but how loud was he?
Oh, so he was very loud, and
Really?
Unfortunately,
His poor mother.
when I was pegging him, he would come while I was pegging him, and it was probably the girliest orgasm I've ever heard in my life.
Was it like that?
Yeah, it was like that, but then there's this weird, like, breathing thing that was like, like, you know, like,
Can you keep doing that?
like,
All right. I almost got off on that.
it was just
Like panting?
yeah, like this,
Like a cat
like
in
a
labor?
dog panting, like, thing after.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I wish his mom wasn't blind because I really wish she would have came down and saw the butt plug tail like when he's bending behind the couch like trying to hide. And be like, when did we get a cat?
You know she heard something after all that time. She heard at least one of those.
Oh yeah.
And
well,
was
they
like,
say when you lose one sense, your other senses
Yeah.
become
So like
stronger.
the smell maybe?
oh God, the smell. I can only imagine what the smell was. Nothing but man gaping. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was not always pleasant either.
Yeah.
With all, like, he had a very, very hairy ass.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like,
But his favorite thing, though, honestly, was at night, like, he'd get bored,
Yeah.
and we would go on Omegle.
what's Omegle?
Omegle is kind of like you go on. It's like a
It's kind of like a video chat, but it's like random. Remember chat roulette?
chat
Yeah.
roulette.
It's
It's
just
like it's exactly
Okay.
like that.
It might actually have been that rebranded. I don't remember, but
So we would go on there, and he would set it up to where our faces weren't showing, but then he would have me peg his ass, and also
Wow.
use tail butt plugs while on Omegle, but only wanted guys to watch, so we'd skip.
Okay, so first came the cuck, right? Okay.
First came love, then came
Came
cucks.
Then came Kelsey with a strap-on carriage. Okay, so to rewind, all right, the pegging or the cucking started 3 months in.
Yes.
You said the first 3 months he was a very sweet guy.
Yes.
All he wanted to do was please you. Mm-hmm. So then the cucking came. He wants you to fuck a big dick because he doesn't have one. He wants to still please you. Now when the pegging comes, you're not getting pleasure from just pegging the guy, right? Because you're just doing
Yeah,
emotion,
is
right?
he at least making sure that he's fulfilling his side, or
Yeah,
does he become more and more selfish?
Yeah, because, like, is there a double-sided dildo? Is there something that gets you off while you're doing these fucking weird things to him?
I mean, he definitely still at points made sure to take care of me too. We did have a double-sided dildo
Okay.
to where I was still getting off.
So are you scissoring each other at this point?
Essentially, I mean,
Okay.
I'm like scissoring his ass. Like,
Yeah,
with
so
my
you guys are
pussy.
like,
yeah.
okay, sharpening the scissors.
But-
All right, we got that.
And there were other times where he'd use dildos and vibrators on me, but it did become more selfish. Like, so one year for Christmas, all of my gifts, pretty much except for like a necklace and something else, were sex toys for me to use on him.
So wait. So Christmas morning,
Yes.
are you guys alone? Or is like cousin Jimmy there,
No,
and you're
no.
like, oh, here's this fucking dildo.
No, we always did our presents alone first before we met
Because
up
like
with family.
if cousin Jimmy first, like, oh, here's a necklace, oh, here's a dildo, here's fucking what the fuck knows.
You have to hold it up. Everyone's got to take a picture
Yeah.
of it. You gotta smile.
No.
Hey, thank you.
Those were definitely very
Both put your lips
private.
on it. So you're doing Christmas gifts alone,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets you all gifts, not to pleasure yourself, but to
Yes.
pleasure him.
Yes.
Was this the last Christmas you guys were together?
Yes.
Last
understand.
Christmas,
Yes.
I gave you a peg. The very next year, you gave it away. This year, I'm gonna peg someone special. All right,
Yeah, it
so
was-
you're okay. You get a bunch. Oh, so what include these gifts? I'm guessing new strap-ons, new.
Strap-ons,
Vibrators,
more
maybe?
butt plug tails, no vibrators. There was wedges.
What's a wedge?
Yeah, what's a wedge?
So it's basically something that I could put up under his ass to bring it up higher.
Okay,
For better.
So like an ab thing.
Oh,
Like when you're
yeah,
working
yeah.
out, you can sit on the ab thing to.
Yes.
Oh, what a
Or
nice
lay on
gift for you.
Yeah, that's a good gift for
Yeah.
you.
So it just brings his butt up higher. So
Okay.
then
So you
my pegging is more.
Direct.
Yeah,
Deep
and
and
you don't have to
direct.
work as hard. So he's giving you a gift,
Yes.
really. I mean, this is
yeah,
a gift,
yeah.
truly for
Okay,
you.
so what else do we have here? Is that it?
There was lube.
Lube?
Nice.
Spermicide lube.
Yeah.
You can't handle your 4-inch dick.
There was also an alien dildo.
The fuck is an alien? Oh, no, we talked about alien dildos
Yeah.
with fucking
Cowabunga dude.
Cowabunga dude.
Yeah.
So these alien dildos, we looked them up. Okay, so there's two types of alien dildos. I need to know which one it is. So there's alien dildos that have, because we looked it up on the previous podcast. There's ones that have like very weird shape and edges, and it's just a normal dildo, but it kind of looks like it could be an alien dick. The other is this fucking massive fucking elephant trunk looking thing that shoots eggs into somebody's ass or vagina, and they fucking spew out a fucking oozy, nasty little egg thing. So which one was it?
Okay, so the second one.
Oh, with the eggs.
Ooh.
Yes.
You
the
impregnated him with eggs.
Yes. But he also had one that.
Did you ever use it? Because shitting out that, I mean, my ass fucking sore right now. I'm not even fucking just thinking about this shit.
Yeah, it was quite a hot commodity in the house
Wow.
for him.
Really? That
Yeah.
was his favorite.
But not the other one, honestly. So it was like this very large, weird looking alien thing, but it had like almost like suction things sticking out inside, like
Okay.
a,
Like
like
an
an
octopus?
octopus tentacle.
Okay.
And that was the other one.
And it shot the eggs?
That
And-
one
and-
didn't shoot the
Oh,
eggs.
okay.
It just had the tentacles.
Okay.
Wow.
But that's that's gotta fucking wreck your asshole.
Yeah, dude. It's
Like Jesus Christ! Like, how do you take a shit after that? Like you have no sphincter at that point, and like shit would just drop out. I just don't understand.
I mean, he did.
You don't even need a digestive system at that point. You just fucking you can eat a whole fucking steak and just have it fucking just drop out.
I mean, he did at one point shit his pants, and we had to go buy him new underwear at Partridge at the mall. So maybe that's.
What was his pants shitted in when you were at Partridge?
Yes.
Wow.
He shit his pants at Partridge.
wow, he just lost control.
And so we had to go buy new underwear.
So, okay. We got pegging, we got cuckolding, we have.
Alien dildos.
I'm waiting for you to be like, and then the final straw that I had is that I caught him with another man.
So I didn't catch him with another man, but I
Okay.
will say that the videos and the interests started heading in a certain direction.
Okay.
So aside from the toys, he very much became obsessed with sucking dildos.
Okay.
So I was actually in Florida with my best friend at the time, and this started, and he sent me a video of him sucking a very real thick dildo, suction cup to a mirror. And
So he was looking himself in the eye
yes,
when he was sucking this
it
dick.
was to a mirror, and he said, "I want to suck a dick with you." And then that became like his thing. Like
So
that became his white whale he had to chase.
before we went on air, right? We're all bullshit, right? We don't know this is going to come to this, but we talked about post nut clarity, right?
Yeah.
So you're sucking a dick in a mirror, right? And you're going to town, and you fucking bust a nut on the mirror, right?
Yeah.
You look at yourself and you're like, man, I just sucked that dick, and I looked at myself doing it. Like, that's some fucking post nut clarity.
Is there any shame at any point where it's like, because that's my biggest thing. Talking about talked about like real dolls. I don't know if I could ever buy one of those things because at some point you finish, then you have to clean it. And then during that cleaning process, I know what would end up happening to me is I would
cry.
Yes, I would feel so terrible that I'm like, what have I done? I spent thousands of dollars on this thing just so I could fuck it, and now I have to clean it.
right.
Like, what has my life become? Like, was there any sort of, like, crisis he would
Dude,
fall into?
$1 million idea. Self-cleaning fucking real dolls.
Well, of course, they can invent that.
Yeah, let's go. Dude, we can invent that. We can be fucking billionaires.
That's true. There's something to that. Yeah.
No, I don't think there was any post-nut clarity or anything because he kept doing it. Like,
Okay.
He kept sending videos.
Just didn't care.
He became, like, obsessed with, like, sucking cock.
Okay.
He wanted to suck cock. Then,
Do
beyond
you
that,
know if he ever did?
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure, but then he did continue to confess things that he wanted. So
Spike don't play with girls.
No, Spike was very serious
dude.
about.
This might be Spike from Little Giants grown up. We have no idea because Spike don't play with girls.
No, it just became a little too much because then he wanted to have a threesome where he was laying underneath me
Oh.
while another man was fucking me, and then when the man went to come, the cum went down into his mouth. So like he's like underneath me with his
So
head.
you're kind of 69 but you're sitting up maybe, and he's
69 backwards. So like his face is basically right by my ass.
Yeah. So,
And then the guy's fucking
but
me.
But you're
Yeah.
kind of sitting.
Yes.
And so you're fucking over his face.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
And he wanted the cum to drop down there.
All right.
And then he also said he wanted me to fuck another man and have them come in me, and then he
Sucks it out.
their dick and then sucks the cum off of me. And this is kind of when I was like, all right, like I feel like we're going down a different road. This is like completely not what I thought it was going to be. He started watching videos on Reddit and porn and stuff by himself involving all of this stuff, like the threesome stuff, everything like that.
Right.
And then he also started, just kind of doing things on his own and being really weird. Then I found out that he was talking to a girl that he worked with.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is around.
It's not strictly dickly anymore.
No, it's funny because I was under the rules that I wasn't allowed to form feelings
Right,
for anyone.
that's part of the contract.
Yeah,
And as a contract, I think both parties have to fucking sign it, so they have to both go by it, right?
Yeah.
Well, he apparently had his own rules, and
Okay.
he started
That's bullshit.
talking to someone that he worked with, and he would get her coffee every single morning, and they would be both work late. They were both managers at where they worked, so they would spend a lot of time together, and then so it was actually kind of weird and funny, but I was pegging him and I was pretending to take pictures and videos of
His
me
ass.
pegging him.
Yeah.
And I was going through his text messages, and there was some very intimate sexual messages between him and this woman.
Really?
Yes. And that's kind of when I was just like, all right, you don't deserve me to
Right.
like
Yeah.
keep satisfying you this
But
way.
don't you love him? You won't peg him in the ass anymore. Don't you
No,
love him?
apparently,
Yeah.
no, because I stopped and he kept trying. Anything. I literally, like, I tried to fix the relationship the best I could.
Yeah.
I tried offering, counseling, whatever. Like, because this is the man that, like, for 3 years, he was telling me, we're going to buy a house. I'm going to talk to my cousin who's a realtor, and we're going to buy a house together. We're going to have babies together.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. We're going to get married eventually. And now I find out he's cheating on me after I just, like, gave him everything.
And after you kind of changed your whole
The-
sexual personality, I guess I'll say, because like you never fucking pegged anyone.
No,
you never
never.
fucking alien dildoed
Never.
somebody. You never fucking
Never.
had cum on your face and had to come home and have him lick it off.
No.
Like this is
It was a first for everything, and I
Man.
did it all for him, and it kind of was just slap in the face. So,
Well, yeah.
like,
Quite literally. That's terrible. I mean, the fact that you did all of this stuff, you got out of your own comfort zone, and then it's like, oh, that's not good. Because here's the deal: he now has to go and find someone else that'd be willing to do all of the same. Like
yeah.
that's a tall order.
I mean, the only way you would win in this scenario is if he had a somewhat of a cock cage and you kept the key and you couldn't unlock his fucking dick.
yeah.
Well, so he was into cock cages.
Oh, I didn't
But
know
I
he was a
didn't-
cock cage kid.
Cock
but I
cage kid?
didn't keep the key.
You should have.
I did. But when I moved out, I did take all the toys.
Ah.
So he had to buy
So
all new toys.
he has to go through a whole nother,
And let me tell you, that was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Of
I
toys.
bet that fucking
bet.
shit from sex stores aren't fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he did like the cage.
Really?
Yeah. It had
So-
to be a very small cage, but he liked to be locked up in there. And then I would go about my normal business, run errands, and then I would dirty talk with him
While he's locked up.
Yep,
And like, what did you do with the key? Like, did you have the key?
I did at that time. Yes,
Did you do anything like to flaunt it to turn him on?
I would flaunt it, but he liked mostly for me to talk about other guys' dicks and like guys flirting with me or guys that we had been messaging on these fake accounts or anything like that. That really turned him on the most.
So you would just be grocery shopping with this fucking little key in your fucking. And like, would you FaceTime him? Like, would you Snapchat? Like, what do you? How you communicate? Just text?
Usually text, sometimes over call.
So let me ask this. Let's just humanize him a little bit. So between, obviously he has a job, obviously there's this whole cucking operation, he's spending time with you, I'm assuming taking you out on dates and things as a normal couple would do. Did he have any other like hobbies? Was there anything of interest that he was like, oh, and by the way, I also like to build like model trains? Like, was there anything else that he occupied his time with? Or was his sole hobby, I need to amass the best cut collection I can on my phone?
Well, so like when I first met him, he was playing video games a lot with his friends.
Okay.
They would get on pretty much every single night. He was in some fantasy sports teams, like he did fantasy baseball, fantasy hockey, stuff like that.
A lot of fantasy. I'm seeing a trend here. A lot of pretending like somebody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and he would go golfing and stuff like that with his friends, and he was in a golf league, and he would also play indoor and outdoor volleyball. Depending on the season.
Sure.
But then all of a sudden that all stopped. He stopped kind of.
So while he was doing these things, was he wearing like the cock cage, or was he having a butt plug in, or what the fuck? Like, was he doing any of these weird fucking like sexual shit while he was out with his boys doing his hobbies that he loved, or was it completely separate?
No, not with the people he knew. There was a couple times that me and him went shopping and he had a butt plug in. But only when it was me and him, never when there was, anyone else he might know or anything involved.
I see.
Huh.
I see.
It's fucking. I did not think this episode would go this way, but I'm glad it did.
Surprise. Aren't you glad I was lonely and needed
100%.
to get out?
Yeah, you need
this is-
definitely. We get you some.
great.
You get some White Claws in you, and you fucking start talking like a motherfucker. We gotta get Spike over here to fucking tell his side of the
Yeah,
story. Be like, hey, show us your gaping asshole.
Yeah, we have to run a contest.
Yeah.
We'd be like, how many ping pong balls can we land in that?
How
thing?
hairy is your ass? And we'll have like 10 asses fucking lined up.
Oh, his ass would be the hairiest.
Oh wow. Okay, so, all right. So here's, so the cheating is really what ended this whole thing.
Yes.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of getting a little tired out of some of the things we had to go through, but I was still willing to do it for him because, like I said, we were building towards this life. I was making him happy. I was satisfying him. But when I found out that you're gonna go and talk to other chicks and
Did you say how you found out?
so it started with he would get weird like FaceTime calls, Snapchats, and text messages from this woman.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, it's for work. And I'm like, okay. But then it started happening at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the
3
morning.
in the morning.
And I'm
you
like,
up text? Like, that's
Yeah.
not a work text.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no reason that person should be contacting you right now.
Right.
So I kind of did a little bit more digging and
Are you up? Because the network's down. I can't log in. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
especially like what they were doing, there was just no way that there needed to be contact that late.
But
Right.
you also, I believe at the beginning you said he ended it with you, right?
He did. He
So,
Really?
so he cheated on you,
Yes.
and you found out.
Yes.
You're somewhat willing to work it out at that point, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was.
And then he breaks up with you.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we agreed that we were going to work on things. He didn't want to lose me. I didn't want to lose him.
Sure.
And we had already built this whole relationship, sexual and normal.
Yeah.
So we tried counseling. We tried to talk through things, and he just never seemed to care.
At counseling, does this shit come up? Like, are you like, I peg him in the ass and he's just not satisfied?
No, none of this.
None of the sexual shit
None
came
of the sexual came
man.
stuff.
See,
that
that's-
shit would have been awesome.
Well,
But
that's the
he
stuff you
shut
need to address.
he shut the counseling down because because like I said, outside
Was
of,
it a woman or a man that
It was
you went
a
counseling?
woman.
Okay.
Okay.
but
why I
outside
shut
of
it down.
outside of the like cheating thing, he had become very controlling. Like I literally couldn't hang out with my best friend.
The bottom from the top, dude.
I could not. And then like so his best friend, I'd go over there and try to talk to his best friend's girlfriend, and we weren't allowed in the same room together.
Wow.
He would have to pull me out. Like he would either text me telling me, "What are you doing? We're supposed to be here for a bonfire. Why are you inside?" Or he'd constantly come in like, "You need to come out. You need to come out."
So was his best friend a cuck too? I mean, they
No.
run in packs, right?
I mean, not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Well,
You'll have to ask her about that
All right. Maybe we can have her on sometime.
because she is my best friend now. But as I will say, one thing I gained from this whole thing is I gained an amazing friend group. So
Yeah.
his
So
friends.
so Spike's not in the friend group anymore, then, right?
No, I got his friends and his
Oh,
sex
okay.
toys.
oh, wait. So you you met all of his friends.
Yes.
You guys split, and then he lost all of his friends.
Yes, I got his friends and his sex toys.
Well,
All right.
I'm assuming, since Spike has this, like you can't talk about it, this contract, blah blah blah. I like to get fucked in the ass. I have a cock cage. I have alien jizz and eggs coming out of my ass or whatever the fuck is going on. I'm assuming that he kind of just folded as far as his friend group because when you guys broke up, this contract, you said it was over text. There's no legality about
No,
it.
it was never legal.
And you're now best friends with these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is no obligation for you to keep quiet anymore. So I'm assuming that the reason that he doesn't come around is because he assumes that you told his friends that were his friends at the beginning and all that shit, whatever the case may be. But that's why he doesn't come around anymore. That's what I'm guessing.
I mean, possibly. I don't know for sure because obviously we haven't talked about it because I haven't discussed it with
Yeah.
him. But I also know, like, he just became a very toxic Persian?
A Persian?
A Persian.
He's a Persian.
He's Persian. He's Persian now.
He
That's
went-
why he's hairy.
Yeah.
So he's got a
from
fucking hairy ass.
He went from Italian to Persian. Anyways,
Marinati?
so he just became a very toxic person. He was very controlling. He became very unhappy with himself, which then, like, he kind of started, I think, building a very toxic relationship with his friends, treating his friends like shit long before we broke
Right.
up. And then I think it just transferred over to where he just didn't want to put in the effort to keep them. But yeah, it also could be that he feels that I told them and he's embarrassed.
That's how I feel. Like, I feel like if he's probably in a situation where he knows that the closest people that were to him probably know these secrets or whatever, or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, now everybody knows.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I immediately told my best friend, and I'm pretty sure she told her boyfriend. But
Yeah. Well, like I said, cucks run together, so who knows if he's
Yeah.
not a cuck too?
Yeah, maybe he's taking notes. He's like, oh yeah, what else?
Yeah. What else is he into?
What can I put into practice
Yeah.
here?
Where can I get a cock cage?
Yeah.
Who can I get to keep the key?
Yeah, they call me old Cock Cage Jimmy now. That's
CCJ. But hey, we've made history today
yeah.
because Kelsey, you are the only second female to be on the 64-Bit Legends.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Behind
Nice.
Miss Elise Dunham.
Yeah.
She was looking for love. Maybe we can have you look for love as well.
True. Yeah.
We were advertising 64 Bits of Love for a while. It got postponed.
Yeah.
And delayed. So that might be in your future. We can find you a fella.
Yeah.
just no cucks, please.
We don't know where these guys come from.
You never know. Yeah. They got.
So
I mean, do you like soup? Because we might have somebody that
yeah.
to hook you up with.
Todd Campbell, the soup boy. But we do appreciate you being on. I think unless you have other things to tell us.
Did we cover it?
Did we cover everything?
Because I don't want to leave any stones unturned here. Like, is there anything that we missed in this cuckstravaganza?
No, I mean, that's,
Cuckamania.
I don't know. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we had this whole this whole show planned, and it got derailed by the cucks of America.
Yeah,
I told
Similar
you
to
guys
the-
I could one up you.
Similar to the Boy Scouts of America, but we do appreciate you being on. 64-Bit Legends. I think we're wrapping it up. I'm not. Really sure.
I don't know how you follow that.
Yeah.
You don't really follow
I'm a
that.
hard act to follow.
Yeah.
So, before we let you go, if you have your own cock cage,
Yes.
no matter the size, if you need someone because you're not disciplined enough to hold their key, send your keys to Melvin Troy's P.O. Box, and we can help you out.
There you go.
He'll announce it on Twitch.tv/Melvin Troy. He'll announce where his P.O. Box is. You can send him the key. If you're single and you need to get pegged in the ass, we can have Miss Kelsey fucking reach out to you. She's she's an expert.
Lots of practice.
But until next time, check me out on Instagram. Check out Melvin Troy. I am Bobby Caboose. We are the 64-Bit Legends. We thank you, Kelsey, for being on for what I thought was going to be a normal episode. It turned,
Thanks for having me, guys.
to me
no
jizzing
problem.
in my pants. But until next time, what you going to do, brother? When your best friend's a cuck and you don't know, then he hooks up with a chick and gets fucked in the ass.